Hello and welcome to the final episode of Season 32 of the Ultimate League in this Xpert 11 Road to Glory series, where we are taking on current second place team Taunton Town at our home stadium, with the away side seeking the playoff spot ahead of 3 other teams. It's going to be a very tight promotion race and they need to win against us to guarantee that second spot. So, without further ado, let's take a look at the teams. Taunton, needing to win, have decided to go with a 3-5-2 formation in a very attacking style in the hope to pinch the goals they need. Their team is Leighton Bashford in goal, a back three of Mark Engstrom, Bernard Voigt and Vince Gregory, a midfield of Geroyd Cullihan, Dietrich Voigt, Finlay Fullerton, Theodore Stoiber and Sebastian Parfit, and a front two of Percival Halliday and the division's top scorer this season so far, Joe Svanson. Our only concern right now is development, so we picked players who need that extra little bit of DV to help them get up to their target 17 DV at the end of the season. So the team is Geo Dihor in goal, a back four of Pim van der Kruis, Eustace Chapple, Aquila Santa Maria and Marcus Agenfjord, which, after the sacking of Joshua Delia, is actually our strongest back line. A midfield of Ray Tataw Eta, Edmund Hansman, Sergei Kivyatkowski, Enver Nesim and Raymond Hargreaves, and a front low man of Celta Motor. On another note, this is Raymond Hargreaves' 50th game for the club today, so that's some milestone to reach at just 20 years of age. So, let's go live to a Supermassive Black Hole for the final game of the season. The captains for this match are Enver Nesim for Knights of Cydonia and Vince Gregory for Taunton Town. The referee is Ian Hartman, with Knights in the red and yellow strip and Taunton in the orange and white strip. The final game of the season gets underway now! And there's an early spike in possession here for Taunton Town. And what's this? We've got a misdirected kick in front of goal by Raymond Hargreaves, and it's in Pillager's own net! In his 50th game for the club, Raymond Hargreaves has scored an own goal! What a day to forget for the youngster, the 20-year-old, who is making his 50th appearance for the club today, and it might get even worse with a free kick for Taunton here. And it's taken on straight on goal by Vince Gregory, and it's straight at Geo Dihor, who saves it with ease. So, as things stand, Taunton Town are taking that second spot, as meanwhile, the goals in other games, we've got a diving header by Joe Svanson. 2-0 Taunton. It is looking like everyone else's efforts are in vain, as Taunton Town are 2-0 up, and St Mirren are currently beating the Outcasts. Ray have just taken the lead against Old Lovecraftians, and the King Punks in the relatively meaningless game of already relegated Harlow Heroes have taken themselves the lead, and Joe Svanson has scored again for Taunton Town from a long range shot. That's his second goal of the game. 3-0 to Taunton. Is looking like we're not going to be a help of any use to everyone on the chasing pack, because Taunton Town are destroying us, knowing that they needed to get the promotion today. At the end of the first half, and it is completely dominated by Taunton with 4 chances and 3 goals. Utterly clinical. It would take a miracle for us to come back from 3-0 down, and I don't personally see it without a focus on development. All their Crafting's equalised against Rayo, which doesn't really help much, so basically the results between St Mirren and the Outcasts, as well as Rayo and all the Crafting's, are meaningless, as we have a well-placed header by Percival Halliday, which is just over the crossbar. And we are starting to get some form of possession in this game, but Taunton are making a few changes. Rupert Snowden on for Theodore Stoiber, as they either ping Roland Rees on for Joe Svanson. The top goal scorer in this division is coming off for a guy who scored against us in the very first game of the season. But wait, we have a chance here. A mishit shot on goal by Enver Nesim, as wide of the target. So our first opportunity of the game, and Enver Nesim shoots wide. He's getting on a bit, isn't he? Alexander Acombe on for Mark Engstrom for Taunton Town, as they look to shuffle their pack and get some DV, last minute DV into the youngsters after securing this 3-0 lead against us, which they need to take that second spot in the division. Eustace Chapple has been yellow carded for handball, but at this stage I doubt a yellow card is going to mean much in terms of suspensions, as this is the final game of the season after all, and cards will be wiped at the end of the season. And that is the end of the game and the end of our brief stay in Division 5, and Knights of Cydonia lose their final game of the season 3-0 to Taunton Town FC, who take the second place in the division and will go to the playoffs to try and get into Division 4 next season. Marcus Agenfjord is our man of the match, while the man of the match for an outstanding Taunton Town team is Vince Gregory, who had an exceptional game at 17 bars. But tough luck on the Outcasts, who was the strongest team in the division, could only manage to finish 5th, below both St Mirren and Rayo, who were also being desperately disappointed in such a close division to miss out on that playoff spot. So, congratulations to the King Punks for winning the division and for Taunton Town to getting 2nd place. Commiserations to Harlow Heroes and Old Love Craftians on being relegated with us, and unlucky to Rayo, St Mirren and the Outcasts for getting so close to that playoff spot but ultimately coming up short and having to spend another season in Division 5. As for us, you have to admit there was a bit of a dire season really. We didn't really do anything to affect the division at all apart from winning against St Mirren and drawing twice against Harlow Heroes, and Harlow Heroes were relegated. We did have some bad luck along the way. However, after the Team of the Week you'll see our final DVs for the season, and these are set to set us up very well for the future. This is effectively now our 3rd squad. Our first squad was the one we started out with. The second squad was the one that won promotion twice in 3 seasons to get up to Division 5. Now this is the 3rd squad with a bigger focus on the youth that have been developed and have become key players in this team. The final team of the season is Dirk Mango of Rayo in goal. The back 4, Vince Gregory, Taunton Town FC, Emiliano Biacone, St Mirren, Rio Cronin, St Mirren, and Feliciano Tadai, St Mirren. An outstanding performance by the St Mirren defence, with all 3 of their highly skilled defenders getting into the Xpert 11. A midfield of Cody Thistleton, Rayo, Nathan Kabich, Harlow Heroes, who has played his final match for the club today, Dietrich Voigt, Taunton Town FC, and Rogaro Santarelli, St Mirren. And a front 2 of Percival Halliday, Taunton Town FC, and Joanne Slater, St Mirren. G. Wilds 1 of Rayo was the manager of the round, but the highly rated manager from Sheffield could not do enough to get his team into a top 2 position, and will have to try even harder next time round. So this is our final DV total of the season, with every youngster bar 2 finishing on at least 17 DV. Unfortunately, one of those youngsters was Celso Mota, who finished on 16 DV, which is a bit below our standards, but since he only just double jumped, it should be enough to get him a single jump at the change report. Nathan Thompson was the other one, but he came through midway through last season. I could have played him in the final 2 games, but I wanted to try and push other youngsters up to more DV, knowing that Thompson could only single jump. As for the rest of the pack, Pierre of Hestlink, Ray Tataw Eta and Ibrahim Qamara all finished on an outstanding 18 DV, which for 17 and 18 year olds is very promising indeed. As well as this, Santa Maria van der Kruis, Alvito Roma and Raymond Hargreaves all hit 17 DV, as did Gilberto Manuel, who we are hoping for a double jump in the change report. Now, Pim van der Kruis managed to hit 17 DV, but that is the first time that he hasn't managed to reach 18 DV during a season, and Raymond Hargreaves has only just hit 17 DV, so who knows what might happen in the upcoming change report. But first, before we go to the change report, let's see how the final table looked at the end of the season. So the King Punks win the division on 29 points, a very low total for a title winning team. Taunton Town scraped into the playoffs with a win against us on finishing on 26 points, which was 2 ahead of both St Mirren and Rayo, who both finished on 24 points. The Outcasts finished a disappointing 5th place, despite the fact that they themselves were just 5 points off the playoffs and 3 points off Rayo and St Mirren in 3rd and 4th places. In the relegation places, Harlow Heroes were relegated on 14 points and Old Love Craftians were relegated on 12 points, while we had a very disappointing season and we were relegated on just 6 points. And that's it for this season. That is it from me this season. It's been a very disappointing season, and if you've stuck with me for the entire time, then good on you. But if not, you'll be glad to hear we'll be in Division 6 next season, and we'll actually be able to win more games and get more wins than just the solitary one we had against St Mirren this season. It's been a tough season all round, but that's it for now. The rest of this episode will just be the retirement mail and the much anticipated change report, so you can see what our team will look like in Division 6 next season. I've been the A Person, and this has been season 32 of the Ultimate League season in the Xpert 11 Road to Glory series. Thank you all for watching, and goodbye. Dang it! Both senior defenders are retiring at the end of the next season, along with Edmund Hansman, leaving 38-year-old Enver Nesim choosing not to retire at all, which is a very strange decision. But this will leave us with absolutely no oldies next season once Chapple and Agenfjord have both retired in the defensive department, leaving just Geo Dihor there. It's been very tough after that, so let's see what this change report looked like. Geo Dihor, 35 years of age, will turn 36 now at this change report, And let's see what's happened to his skill level, because he didn't exactly reach 10 DV, so there's a possibility he might drop a skill bar. But nope, he has managed to stay at 12 skill. Ant Connolly, 18.5 keeper, has the possibility of double jumping to a 19.7 next season. But does he double jump? No, he is a 19.6 for next season, which isn't so bad. He'll need a bit more game time. But good to see him raise a bar. Marcus Agenfjord, who was retired at the end of the season. I'm going to presume he might have lost a skill bar. Nope, he is still 11 bars, but he has lost a bit of skill regardless. Something bad must have happened for Chapple to consider him to want to retire. He was 11 bars. After the change reports, he has dropped to 10 bars. Now that's quite disappointing, to be honest, because we could have done with two 11 bar defenders in Division 6. Pim van der Kruis has the possibility to double jump to an extremely attractive 2110 defender, which in layman's terms is one that, well, he's a 2110, and that is going to be very promising, because that is on the path to being a world-class player. Aquila Santamaria, Youth Academy graduate come good. He's been really coming onto his own in the last few seasons, and was a 28 last season. Now he's got up to a 21.9, which means he's not that far behind Pim van der Kruis. This is looking like a very, very solid defence for us. Ibrahim Qamara, a new addition for this season, has got up to an 18.5, despite the fact they finished on 18 DV, which is alright. We've got an increase after all. 17-year-old Nathan Thompson came halfway through the season as a 73. Now after the CR he raises to an 18.4, which is probably the best we could have expected from him, to be honest, given how late he came. Enver Nesim, our free kick taker, was a 10 bar player last season, but at 38 years old he drops 2 bars. Oh dear. He is now a 38.8, and that's not going to be very good for free kicks at all. Edmund Hansman, our utility all-rounder, was a 35.10 last season, but after the change report he's now 36-year-old, and he drops to 9 bars. Oh dear. Well, that's 2 of our oldies who have lost skill now in this change report. Sergei Kivyakovsky, our record appearance maker with over 60 appearances for the club. He was a 34.12 last season, but he's dropped to 35.11 this time around, so all 3 experienced oldies have lost skill. Raymond Hargreaves was a 27 last time. He managed to push up to 17 DV, and he has double jumped. Raymond Hargreaves is now a very promising 21.9 midfielder with all-round capabilities. Alvito Roma double jumped last season, so he get to a 28, so we're expecting a single bar increase. Hope he gets that single bar increase. And he does! Alvito Roma is now also a 21.9, so we have 2 21.9s in midfield. That is very good. Gilberto Manuel, this is the big one. If Manuel double jumps, we can keep this team together. And he has! Gilberto Manuel has double jumped, and unfortunately for him, that signals the end of his time at the club. Pierre Hessling, our free kick taker of 18.5, finished the season on 18 DV, so he might be having a good chance of double jumping, but he hasn't. But it's still a very promising 19.6 free kick taker, and I'll take that. Ray Tataw Eta came to the club as a 16.3 midfielder. He went up by 1 to 17.4, and this season he finished on an outstanding 18 DV. So what does he come with this time? He has got up but just by a single bar, so he hasn't managed to double jump, but we've still got an increase, which is always nice. Salvatore Motor double jumped to 28 last season. We're hoping for a bar increase because he only managed to hit 16 DV this season. Did he get his bar increase? Yes! He is now a 21.9 striker. Now this means we have 4 21.9s and a 21.10 in the squad. That is very good. And finally, Endira Zubeldia, who was brought to the club as a 16.3 and hit 17 DV last season. He was a 17.4 last season. He is a 17.5 this time around. That is our change report for the season. In total, we have gained 15 skill bars on the previous team and lost 4 in the process. I'd say this team's coming along very nicely. So that is it for the season. So next time round we'll be playing in Division 6, but who we'll be up against? Find out in the first episode of season 33 of the Xpert 11 Road to Glory series.